Heated Rivalry. Let's talk about it. You guys, I cannot even explain to you how utterly obsessed I have been with the show for the past week. My entire week has been consumed by Heated Rivalry. I watched it for the very first time all the way through in one day on Sunday, a week ago from today. The season is only 6 episodes long, and like I said, I watched it all in one day for the first time, and then since then, the last week, everything has been Heated Rivalry. I've rewatched the show many, many times over, at least 3 times all the way through, and just watching random episodes and random moments over and over again as well since then. If I'm not watching the show, I'm on TikTok watching edits or other people talking about it. I'm on Instagram threads reading people's posts about it in the conversations of Heated Rivalry. I've gone on YouTube and watched just about every single interview of the actors, Connor Story and Hudson Williams. I'm obsessed with them as well. The actors are also just a great people, and they're super fun to watch, and they're really funny and like really entertaining to watch in interviews and stuff. So I've watched every single one of those. I've even gone as far as creating a playlist on my music app with all of the songs that I really like from the soundtrack of the show, as well as like songs that people are using on TikTok to edit to the show. So any song that reminds me of the show, I've made a playlist to play when I'm driving or when I'm at the gym when I'm not physically able to watch. I have even bought the books. Now, this is the first book. It's called Game Changer. I've already read about half of it in the span of 2 days. It's called Game Changer. That's the first book in the series. And then the second book is called Heated Rivalry. So the show that is out on HBO Max right now is based off this book for the most part. It plays along the story of the characters Ilya Rozanov and Shane Hollander. And those are the main characters in this book. So I haven't read this one yet because it's technically the second one in the series. Now, Game Changer, there is one episode dedicated to the couple in this story, Scott and Kip. Scott Hunter is a hockey player as well, and then he meets Kip, and they are together. And so there's one episode dedicated to them in the series because they do play a very vital role in Shane and Ilya's relationship and them being able to accept one another. All of the possible ways that I've consumed this show, I have, and I do over and over and over again. I've watched like every interview of these actors together. They're really fun to watch together. They're like best friends. They have such good chemistry, like even off screen, just as like good friends, and they're really fun to watch. Okay, so if you are not familiar with the show or you're not 100% sure on what it's about or what's going on, it is a show about, like I said, it is based off a book, so there's a previous story going on here that it is based off of, but it is a show about these 2 young hockey prospects, as they are called, that are new to the hockey world. They're rookies. They're getting drafted into the major league. All the things. They're like the 2 hot new superstar hockey players that everyone's loving and everything. And they're young. It starts off in 2008. And it shows them as like 17, 18-year-olds, junior league playing, getting ready to get drafted into the major league. They are kind of posed as these rivals, hence the rivalry. Posed as these rivals because they're the top of their league. It's Russia's Ilya Rozanov and Canada's Shane Hollander. They are pitted against each other from the very beginning of the show. It shows pretty early on within the first section of the first episode that these 2 separate characters have a lot going on in their lives and have a lot of their own pressures individually. Ilya, like I said, is Russian, so he comes from a very Russian kind of strict family of you need to do this and you need to do that, and like kind of easy to disappoint, I'd say. Like you kind of see that early on with his dad, that his dad's not very proud of him, not very he kind of talks down to him a lot. And then you've got Shane, who is kind of proposed as this golden boy, like role model of the league. He's got a lot of people looking up to him. A big part of his character is that he's Asian Canadian. So him being half Asian, he's kind of got a lot of this pressure that there's not a lot of Asian players in the league at that time. And he's kind of seen as this role model to younger kids who are looking up to him and want to play hockey as well. So these characters individually, you're already seeing these signs of pressure that they have on them, kind of what you're going to see from these characters moving forward. And from very early on in the show, when they first meet in 2008, you're seeing some little clicks. You're seeing some little what's going to happen here, right? In episode 1 especially, but throughout the entire show, really, the show spans across 8 to 9 years of time, starting in 2008, and then the last episode ends in like 2016 or 2017. So there are a lot of time jumps, 6 months later, 2 weeks later, 3 months later, summer, winter, fall, like a lot of time jumps and place jumps, because it kind of builds their story basically that, like I said, they're pinned as these rivals. Ilya gets drafted for the Boston Raiders, and Shane gets drafted for the Montreal Metros. And those teams are considered rival teams. So they play each other often. They're in each other's cities often. So it basically spans across time of every time they play against each other, every time they're in the same room for a Hall of Fame, draft, award show, whatever it may be. Every single time that they're in the same place at the same time, you're seeing those moments. And time passes where they don't see each other for months at a time if they're not playing against each other or in those other circumstances. You begin very early on with some flirting, some shared looks, some interest, and you're kind of like, okay, so what's gonna happen here, right? They eventually have a hookup, like they're kind of just like hooking up every time they see each other, and it grows into so much more. This is not just sex. It is not just hooking up. This is an incredible love story between these two men that is just so beautiful to watch unfold, and it's genuinely one of the reasons why I love it so much. You really just over time see these two characters, like I said, fall in love with each other against all odds kind of thing. They're hooking up in secret. They're together in secret. They love each other in secret because they're both not out as gay men or as men that like men. And especially in the hockey world, there's a lot of pressure on that because I guess in the hockey world, there's a lot of homophobic slurs being thrown around, and it's just not accepted whatsoever to be gay, especially in the hockey world. You see them kind of navigate that and having to hide this from everyone around them, their teams, their parents, their friends, everyone. So why did I want to watch this show in particular? Like, what stood out about it to me that made me think I want to watch this show? First off, it was everywhere. I was a little late to the party with this show. I just watched it for the first time a week ago. This show, the very first episode aired on November 28th, and it spanned, there was an episode a week up until like Christmas week. So this show has been out since Christmas, so I'm definitely a little late to it. And I wasn't really seeing much about it. I think I was watching Stranger Things, of course, around Christmas time and New Year's time. So I was getting a lot of Stranger Things content on my Instagram, my TikTok. Like, that's all I was seeing. And I was really into that at that moment. And so I don't think I was really seeing the Heated Rivalry stuff very much on my social media. And I was kind of missing it. And then slowly, as Stranger Things kind of faded away, and I started hearing more people talk about this show, people at work, friends, random people, whatever, again, social media, I started seeing more and more about this. People saying this is so good, you have to watch it. There's this one girl at my work who's obsessed with the books, has read all the books, and then watched the show, and she was telling everyone at work, like, you guys have to watch it, it's so good. Like, and I was hearing about it, and I was like, okay, I didn't really know what the show's about. Like, I've heard it's hockey, I've heard it's two gay men. That's all I know. Like, what's the plot? How long of a show is it? Like, I didn't know much about it at all. And so I think what really just kind of, again, first off, I was getting FOMO. I was like, okay, what's this show about? Like, everyone's talking about it. I need to know. Like, clearly it's good. I'm hearing so much about it. And I started seeing the actors and seeing, like, their interviews and them, like, on, like, red carpets and stuff. And I was like, clearly this is a big thing right now. I'm definitely missing out on something. I gotta get in on this. I'd say in general, it really just piqued my interest because I love a good romance. I love a good drama. Love a good love story and character developments and so on. And that's what I was really hearing about this, is that it was such an epic romance story, and like you see a lot of character development over the course of the series. So I think that just really stood out to me. And like I said, I always love that. And I think also it being about two gay men falling in love, I think it was very intriguing to me because it's not something you see very often. At least I haven't. I feel like I haven't seen very many movies or shows where it's like this incredible love story between gay men. Most things you watch, it's a man and a woman. So I think that just kind of stood out to me too, as it was something different. And like I said, the fact that it was getting so much good press and so much good feedback from it, like I was hearing such good things about it from all types of different like people in the queer community, people not, like everyone was saying such good things about it. I was like, okay, this is done well apparently, like I need to watch this. Moving on to like part 2 of this video is 1, why I love the show so much, and 2, why I think it is loved among so many different people, so many different types, so many different groups of people. Personally, why do I love the show? Like I've already kind of said in some points, I genuinely love the characters. I love their separate stories and how they kind of come together. Like as individuals, they have their own stuff going on, but then you kind of see them together and how that evolves over time. I love a good love story. You're seeing all these little moments building up over the course of 6 episodes that you really kind of start to notice when they start to have feelings for each other, when they start to love each other, even before they're able to accept it themselves or say it out loud themselves. And so I just think just like the buildup of it all and the true love that you're really witnessing happening is just so like nice to see. Me personally, I really like the dynamic of the two men because, again, you don't see that very often in TV. A lot of times it's a man and a woman. And with that, there comes that automatic stereotypical dynamics. Whereas with two men, it's something that you never see. Like, it's something that it's never been seen before on TV the way it's done in the show, of two men that are considered equals. They are like this the entire show in the hockey world. Ilya and Shane. And so they're seen as these equals. They're both masculine presenting men. They're both competitive, sport, you know, they play their sport. They're strong. They have this sense of like masculinity to them. But then when they're together, just the two of them, they have this sense of vulnerability. And I just really like to see how, you know, on their outside world, there's all these pressures and all this, like, tough guy, sports competitiveness. And then when they're together, it's really just all about each other and, like, the love for each other, you know? So, yeah, for me, just to watch their love story be spread out across technically 8 to 9 years of time, yearning, the tension, the want for each other but not being able to always have it, the waiting for each other, like, this was never just a hookup to them. Like, from that first time that they met, from the first time that they did hook up, it was a thing that they knew that they were going to continue doing. It was never just like a one-night stand. Okay, so now thinking about why is this show genuinely so popular among so many types of people, so many different groups of people. Obviously, you hear about the show, it's two gay men, it's a queer romance, it's a queer love story. You think that the automatic audience is going to be the queer community, and specifically gay men. But no, like, this show has spanned the attention and the attraction from all types of people. Whether it's the queer community, whether it's straight women. A lot of straight women love this show. And the question is why? Because you're not seeing a romantic, heterosexual relationship. You're seeing love between two men. There's not even a woman involved. So why is a straight woman, like, enjoying this story? And generally, of course, there's the one automatic, like, they're good-looking men. There's going to be women that are attracted to them. Like, I think they're good-looking men. Like I said, I really like the actors. I think the actors are great-looking men as well. Like, there's that, you know, you could find them attractive. You can find them hot. You could find the show, you know, attractive. But it's not just that. Like I said, it's not just sex. It's not just hot men having sex. Like, that's not what the show's all about. The show is this love story that spans over time. And, of course, part of love, part of attraction is sex. I genuinely do think it's because this show has something that anyone can relate to, anyone can love about it, anyone can want more of. Whether you're part of the queer community or not, and if you're a straight cis woman, straight cis man even, I mean, I think that would probably be the least common group I've heard watching the show is a straight cis man. Just again, because I don't know what they're, but even then, I think anyone could. Like, I am seeing videos on TikTok of, like, girls saying, like, they're making their boyfriend watch it with them and their boyfriend's into it too, and, like, they watch it together. Like, there is something about the show that anyone can relate to, I feel like. Even if you're relating to the individual characters. Someone that maybe relates to Shane, he's Asian Canadian, so a lot of his pressures come from being Asian and, like, having that pressure of, like, you've got a lot of people looking up to you, you're one of the first few, like, you know, you're so young, and, you know, being this half Asian character, he has those, like, pressures of, like, showing up and showing that it can be done kind of thing. Or, like, for Ilya, with having so much pressure from his family, having a dad that doesn't really, you know, and a brother that doesn't really, like, support him and just kind of is always upset with him about something. He can never make them proud. He can never make them happy. There's always something tearing him down when it comes to his family. If you relate to that, like, it doesn't even have to be about the romance itself and the relationship itself. There are so many other aspects to the show that I think anyone could relate to. And I think the number one thing I noticed with, like I said, maybe straight women or just women in general, with this story, you're seeing something that's normally not done, something that's different. You're seeing two men that are masculine, are competitive, are tough guys, especially Ilya. He's kind of portrayed as this, like, macho man, like, Russian, tough guy. He's strong. He, you know, he's a little aggressive on the hockey rink, like, on the ice. Like, he's kind of known as that aggressive, tough player. But it's like, then when you see him alone with Shane, you see this, like, new level of vulnerability and emotional, like, strength. You're really just seeing a man that knows what he wants, knows what he likes, and is not afraid to go for it. You're seeing this man that he knows he's attracted to men. He's attracted to Shane, and he wants him, and he makes it happen. But in the most respectful of ways, the most patient of ways. And I think that's what I, like, love so much about Ilya, is, like, you really see, like, a lot of, again, respect, patience, and kindness towards Shane, because very early on you learn that Ilya's been with a man before. He's got this confidence to him. He's going towards Shane, showing that attraction early on. And Shane definitely, you could tell he's interested back, but, you know, he's a little bit more nervous, a little bit more reserved about it. He admits that he's never been with a man before. So you automatically see that, and you see how Ilya reacts to that. He doesn't take advantage of him. He doesn't force him to do anything he doesn't want to do. It's always As the fandom calls him, he's the king of consent. He's always making sure that Shane's okay with everything that they do. He's always asking if he's okay, make sure he still wants this. Is this what you want? I think a lot of girls have dealt with in their life, you know, men that they've dated, men that they've been interested in, and men on other TV shows that have this like stigma of not always respecting women, not always respecting you as an individual and as an equal. And so I think for a woman to be able to see that in a relationship where the man does have so much like respect for his partner, kindness and patience with him, never, like I said, there's a scene in, I want to say it is episode 1, their second time hooking up, Ilya kind of offers that they go the next step further in their like sexual relationship, and you can tell that Shane's a little hesitant, a little reserved about it, a little like, ooh, I don't know. And you know, Ilya's like, are you scared? And he's like, I'm not scared. He gets kind of defensive, and he's like, it's okay, like it's okay if you are, kind of thing. And he basically, you know, you could just tell that Shane's kind of like debating it. It's like, I don't know, it's not a for sure yes. It's not like, yeah, let's do this. He definitely is a little hesitant for whatever his reasons are, whatever he says they are versus whatever he's actually feeling. We don't know. But right away, Ilya's like, okay, next time, no big deal. Like, doesn't make him feel bad about it, doesn't like force him to do anything he doesn't want to. It's just really seeing them as like equals and like how they treat each other, I think can be really attractive to a woman, and can also be very like, that's what I want in a relationship. And a lot of women have never had that in a relationship. I think something that I noticed too about kind of going back with that same topic, and I'm sure what other women are seeing as well, is like they're seen as these like tough guy, masculine men that have to have this certain image. They're seen as rivals. They're seen as they're supposed to hate each other in the hockey world. When they're alone, you're seeing this vulnerability. You're seeing, what I see is there's no embarrassment. They're not ashamed to be with each other. It's never about them being into men. Like they both know what they want. They both know that they're attracted to men, and it's not a problem. I like men, you like men, let's get with each other kind of thing. So I think to see that too, it just kind of goes back to that whole vulnerability, willing to go for what they want. To kind of recap what I was saying before about Ilya, I think Ilya especially is really loved for his character in general, because he's attracted to Shane. He wants to let him know, and he, you know, sent little hints and like flirts with Shane in a subtle way, that to see like, is he interested back in me? And when he got that kind of go, like that green light of like, yeah, he's definitely, I think he's interested back, he went for it. And again, in the most respectful and like patient of way. I think a lot of women see that and they want that in their own relationships. I think it really just does come down to, there is something about Shane and Ilya, or both of them, like either or if you find it in both of them, that there's something to like about their characters and how they treat one another, their personalities in general. There's something to like about them. There's something to like about their relationship. And so I think that women can see this, be attracted to it, but also like, I want that in a man. Like, I hope to find the relationship that they have together in my real world. I hope that I can find a man that loves me the way Ilya loves Shane, and like that the way that Shane loves Ilya. I hope I can find a man that talks to me the way that they talk to each other. You're seeing this beautiful relationship on screen. It's like, you want that in your real life. So it's very easy to fall in love with it and want to watch it over and over and over again and just yearn for it almost. Like, let's just yearn with them, I guess. In general, of course, this show is just so important. It's such a big deal because of how mainstream it's gotten and like how much has happened because of it. This show means so much to so many people. Of course, like the queer community, number one. Like, you don't see this type of representation very often in shows, and it's done so well. It's done so beautifully. It's a big deal. And the fact that it has gotten so much love and so much good feedback, the fact that these actors are kind of coming into these roles, and like, again, even the actors themselves are these men that were able to play a role like this. They are best friends in the real world, and you see it in their interviews, and you see how they talk about the show and how proud they are to be a part of the show and to play these roles that you don't see very often, and they're just very proud to be able to be, you know, there in this world. I just know that this show, the book's been around, but now that it's become a show that, like, someone like me who never read the books, but now I'm reading them because of the show, you've got people who don't read, have never even heard about this, never even knew this was a thing, and now they're watching the show because they're hearing about it on social media, they're seeing these actors getting posted, like, they're seeing all the things. It's become so mainstream, and it's becoming such a big thing. Everyone is hoping and, you know, are sure that this is definitely going to become, hopefully, a trickle effect for more things in the future, more queer representation, more queer relationships in shows. I know a lot of people are really hoping for a woman-loving woman version, two women that get together. I know people are really hoping for that, like something very similar with like a sport, or like I've seen people like, you know, want like cheer or ballet or volleyball and like have two women that fall in love with each other. It's the start of something, you know. We're hoping for more shows like this in the future. Okay, and now on to like part 3 of this video is just simply talking about the show, because I feel like I've kind of given my opinion, my thoughts, what I've learned about this show and like everything about that. But like, let's just talk about the show. There are so many moments that I just replay, and like I said, I watch TikTok edits. Yeah, so it's like the little moments to me that stand out about the show. Let's talk about it. It's a lot to take in for first watch. I just remember my first time, I was fully just like, like I was just like, oh my god. Like I watched the first 2 episodes and then I had to go to work, and my entire shift that day I was thinking about going back and watching the rest of the episodes. I couldn't wait. I was like, oh my god, I just need to get through the shift and I could keep watching it. And I did. I finished the last 4 episodes after I got off work that day. And I just remember there were so many scenes where I'm literally staring at my TV like in full awe, in full like there are just so many scenes in the show that you genuinely are just like, how freaking sweet. And I still react like that, even though I know what's gonna happen, I know what to expect, and I watch these TikTok edits over and over and over again. Every single time I'm still just like, they're so sweet. I love them so much. I feel like after a second watch, after a third watch, there's little things you notice along the way that you maybe didn't notice before. And for me, one of those things is just noticing how early on that these characters were falling for each other and gaining feelings for each other emotionally, not just sexually. And you see that very early on. Even before they hooked up, after their first time meeting and playing against each other in like the junior league or whatever it was, I don't really know all the terms. I don't know hockey very well. You see very early on that like Ilya clearly has interest in Shane, and he goes out of his way to plan a photo shoot with Shane so that he has a reason to be in the same place with him and have a chance to talk to him, not just on the ice. He makes that known to Shane. You know, he asks Shane, he's like, when did they tell you that you're doing this photo shoot with me and not by yourself? He's like, oh, like a couple days ago. Why? When did they tell you? And Ilya's like, they tell me nothing. My idea. He's like, it was my idea. And Shane's like, okay, what? You know what happened before the photo shoot? Is the gym scene. Also very iconic. That is when they first kind of have a little bit of a one-on-one time, interaction time, where Ilya kind of, you know, gives him little hints. He winks at him. They touch hands a little bit when they grab water bottle. Like, there's some little hinting at flirting. And then after that moment, I want to say, is when Ilya wants a chance to see him again and talk to him again one-on-one, and so then he gets that photo shoot planned, and that's how it happens, I want to say. So yeah, and then we get the iconic shower scene where Shane's showering in the locker room showers. Ilya's giving him these little, they're sharing looks, and they're both looking at each other when the other's not looking, and then they're just looking at each other's bodies, looking at each other up and down, like, oh. And again, Ilya gives him kind of the hint of, I'm into you. All right, you're into me, right? And that's whenever in the lockers, they exchange, you know, Ilya's like, what's your room number? Shane gives it to him. And then we lead into their first hookup. So yeah, just that alone from the very beginning, before they even hooked up, like Ilya went out of his way to find a time, make time to see Shane. He wanted to see him again. He was into him. He was interested in him. And it wasn't just a spur of the moment, one night stand hookup. Like he kind of made that happen. Fast forward a little bit after that, and they exchange phone numbers. And the way that they genuinely get so giddy with each other, like throughout the series when they're texting, there's moments where they don't see each other for months at a time. Over the summer when they go home, over the summer and they're not playing, it's like their off season, they're texting each other the entire season. Like, this is not just little hookups. Like, they are like giddy for each other. They are smiling out of their phones, texting. So let's break down the last 3 episodes. Episode 4, episode 5, and episode 6. All 3 are amazing episodes, like, but all 3 had their moments where like there's some heartbreak, there's some how sweet, like just great moments overall. So episode 4, absolutely love this episode, but it's also so heartbreaking. Okay, so episode 4 is known as the tuna melt episode, and also the episode, the club scene with all the things she said. Iconic. Tuna melt scene, let's go over that. The tuna melt scene is known as that because Ilya basically invites Shane over to his place in Boston, invites him over, and you definitely can tell that this man had this planned. He was planning for his man to come over. He had Shane's favorite drink, his ginger ales, ready in the fridge for him. He had food prepared, ready to make, so he can make him a meal. And after they hook up, Shane's kind of like, okay, well, I guess I should go, because that's what they, you normally did before. It was like, hook up and like, okay, gotta go. But Ilya kind of asks him, he's like, no, you should stay. And Shane's like, stay? Like, when have you ever asked me to stay? He's like, come on. He's like, we don't have a game till tomorrow afternoon. Like, you could stay the night. But like, you can tell that he wants to have this time with him that's not just hook up and leave. He wants to spend time with him. Or he offers, he's like, you want a tuna melt? And Shane's like, you want to make me a tuna melt? And like, again, you see this giddy smile on his face, like, you want to make me food? Like, what? And Ilya's like, I'm making one for myself. I can make 2. He's like, making him a meal, and then they end up watching TV together on the couch, kind of bond a little bit. They're asking questions about, you know, I think Shane's asking questions to Ilya about his family and like about Russia and like whatever, and like they're having a conversation, and then they eat their tuna melt together. You know, it's going well. And this is kind of when Ilya kind of asks Shane, kind of starts the conversation of like, so do you like girls? Shane's never really talking about any girls that he's with, whereas Ilya's kind of known as this like ladies man, where even though obviously he's totally into Shane, he also gets with the ladies, right? And so it kind of reveals here that like Ilya is definitely into girls as well. He's attracted to girls, and so he's kind of asking Shane, he's like, so I never hear about you with girls. And Shane's like, oh yeah, like it's private, like, which Shane's saying this, and we know that Shane has not been with any girls. He's only been with Ilya. He only wants to be with Ilya. They end up, you know, kind of getting into it, having a little moment, getting down with each other. And this is the first time where they say each other's first names. For the entirety of the show up until this point, they are Rosenoff and Hollander. They only call each other by their last names. And in this moment, they finally kind of reach that new level of calling each other Shane and Ilya. And in that moment, like, Ilya is love drunk, as we like to say. He is full-heartedly like, Shane. And, you know, Shane gets a little freaked out by this. He's kind of realizing, oh, this is getting kind of real. And freaks out. And he gets up, he's like, I gotta go. I can't do this. I can't do this. And, you know, Ilya's hurt. You see it in his face, and it literally makes me want to cry. Ilya's like, Hollander. Like, he tries to take it back by calling him by his last name again, like, basically begging him to stay. In episode 4, after this happens, they don't text each other for, like, months. Shane basically freaked out, and, like, and then he met this girl, and he has a girlfriend now. And Ilya is just devastated. You could just tell Ilya's like, what happened? What did I do? Like, I thought that was going so well, and then he left, and now he's a girlfriend? Like, what? And so now you're seeing Shane with his girlfriend. You're seeing Ilya be very jealous about this, seeing them on the news, seeing them on the internet, like that they're together. Ilya's pissed. He's jealous. And he's like, fuck, I need to get into the club. And so now this gets us into the infamous club scene. Oh my God, I love it so much. Now they're in the club. They're in the same club at the same time, but don't know it yet at the same time. Shane's there with his girlfriend and her friends because they're all hanging out. And then Ilya's there with his Boston team. They're both there, and they both different times have these moments of seeing each other's friends there and knowing, oh my God, Shane's here. Oh my God, Ilya's here. So now they're both like, they're scanning around the room for each other. They're looking for each other because they know they're there. And then there's the infamous scene. They see each other from across the room. Ilya's dancing with a girl, and Shane sees him from across the room, and they're just both standing there looking from across the room, staring at each other to the song, All the Things She Said. And it's just this iconic moment where you're watching the two of them, like, gazing at each other, like, devastated that they're not there with each other, basically. You kind of, and then there's, like, this, like, back and forth scene, and then you kind of see, as well, Shane with his girlfriend, clearly not into her. You know, you're under the assumption that he's thinking about Ilya when he's with her. And then you see Ilya in the shower by himself, with himself, and you can, again, get the vibe that he's thinking about Shane while doing this. Club scene, heated rivalry. This is kind of the vibe that's happening in this scene. But it's this just iconic scene with the lights going off, and they're both just staring at each other from across the way, and you're just like... And then we have episode 5. Let's talk about episode 5. Episode 5 is definitely the favorite. It's just the most, like, heart-wrenching, like, oh my God, it's so good. Like, basically, Shane meets with his girlfriend, and because she kind of clocks the fact that I don't think you're into me. Not a big deal. Like, Rose is a queen. I love her so much, but she basically clocks that, Shane, I think you're into men. I think you're not into me. Like, I think, let's talk about it. And they do, and it's like a really, really heartfelt conversation. It's really sweet, like, to see her be so sweet about it. She's like, it's okay. And it's like, they have this, like, really great moment, and she basically kind of talks to him as, like, have you ever been with a man before? And he's like, and it shows him flashbacks of him thinking about Ilya. And she's like, have you ever told anyone that before? And he hasn't. Like, Ilya's the only person now her that knows that he likes men. And he's like, no. And, like, you just see this, like, look on his face. He's so, like he's crying, basically. He's, like, very teary-eyed saying this and talking about and thinking about Ilya while he's talking to her about this. And so after that, there's, like, this pivotal moment with Shane specifically that, like, from this point on, now that he's had this conversation with Rose and he's been able to say it out loud to another person now that he does, in fact, just like men, and he's realizing this about himself, that he doesn't think he's attracted to women at all. He has this, like, newfound confidence to himself a little bit, and so the next time him and Ilya see each other, they're in Florida. And it's because they're gonna be playing on the same team together. They're playing on, like, this all-star team. But they're basically in the same place again together because they're gonna be playing together for the first time, like, on the same team. And so they have this moment at the bar, and you can tell that Ilya's a little, like, reserved with him, a little, like, standoffish because he knows that he has a girlfriend. He thinks he does. And they end up having conversation back and forth. Like I said, Shane has this new confidence with him. He's a little bit more flirty with Ilya. Like, he knows what he wants now. He knows, like, he tried to be with the woman. It's not what he wants. He wants Ilya. Ilya kind of is a little, like I said, standoffish. He's like, so, you and Rose? Like, basically is trying to confirm, like, are you still with Rose or not? The Florida scenes are just really cute. Like, they're kind of, like I said, Ilya just seems, like, super, super happy that he knows that that Shane's not with Rose anymore. And kind of gets, again, they kind of have this, like, green light that they both know that we're definitely just into each other, like, and kind of going for it a little bit more. And then this episode is also the episode where the next time they see each other, like, that night or whatever in the hotel room, Shane kind of wants to have this serious conversation with Ilya and kind of talk to him and basically tell him, like, I think I'm gay, which is kind of a funny moment. He's like, I think I'm gay. And Ilya's like, oh, really? Like, what made you think that? Like, as they've been having gay sex for the past, like, however long it's been at that point. And he's like, I'm being serious. It's a big deal. He's like, why are you telling me this? And, you know, because he's basically like, well, you like both. Because, like, Ilya is bisexual. He likes men and women. So Shane's trying to tell him, like, I think I just like men. And he's like, but it's not just being gay. It's not just liking men. It's you. It's this. It's like, this is, like, he's like, basically, like, like I said, he has this confidence to him now that he's able to talk to Ilya about this and be like, it's not just me. Like, you feel this too. Like, and then Ilya's like, no, it's just sex. Like, it's nothing. And he's like, bullshit. And he calls him out. And he goes with it. He's like, bullshit. He's like, I know you like me too. Like, there's something here. Like, last time we were together, it was different. And, like, the tuna melt scene. He's like, last time we were together, it was different. It wasn't just hooking up. And they have this really heartfelt moment where Ilya's like, because Shane basically asked him, he's like, would you want to be something? He's like, we can't be something, Hollander. He's like, yeah, but if we could, would you want to? And Ilya's just kind of like, this is the moment where Ilya kind of opens up to him about Russia. And he's kind of like, I could never go home. And he's like, why? Because you're family? And he's basically saying, he's like, Russia is not okay with gay. Like, I can't, like, if I were to be with you and, like, be open about this, like, I would never be able to go back home. You know, Ilya kind of has this moment of sadness and, like, about his mom and about his family and about Russia. And it's just this really heartfelt moment where Shane really just comforts him, and it's not sexual in any way. It's very much like he gets on top of him and, like, hugs him and, like, just holds him, and, like, you can see that Ilya is crying, and it's a really, really sweet moment. This scene really just kind of breaks the barrier of they both are able to admit that this is not just sex anymore, and it hasn't been in a little while. It's emotional, it's romantic, we have feelings for each other, because then now at this point they both call each other by their first names again, and it's okay. They say, good night, Shane, good night, Ilya, and, like, that's the end of that scene. Later in this episode, Ilya has to go back to Russia because his father passes away. His father has dementia, which that's kind of what was covered in that last scene. That's kind of what he was opening up about to Shane, saying, like, my father's dementia. His dad ends up passing away, and he has to go to Russia for the funeral to deal with that. And basically there's this scene where Ilya's dealing with his brother, has a really, like, bad moment with his brother, and, like, bad family, like I said, bad family, like, he doesn't have a good family dynamic. And so he wants to call Shane. He's like, can you call? Like, are you alone? They call each other. And this is when we get the iconic Russian monologue, which shout out to Connor Story, because if you don't know, Connor Story is Ilya's actor, and he is not Russian whatsoever. He is from Texas. He does not have a Russian accent naturally. He had to learn how to speak in a Russian accent so well and speak Russian, like, the language. And so he has this whole Russian monologue where he's on the phone with Shane, and he's basically, like, talking, saying all this stuff. He's like, oh, like, talking about what's going on in Russia. And he's like, English is too hard right now. I can't. And so Shane's like, I have an idea. Like, how about you tell me everything you're thinking in Russian, and I may not be able to understand you, but maybe it'll help you feel better about it. So he goes on this huge Russian monologue, and he says everything that's on his mind about his family, about how his brother treats him, how his dad treated him, how he feels like he can't come back here. He hates it in Russia. He has, like, no one left. He's like, I have Svetlana, which I didn't really cover her very much, but Svetlana is also a pretty important character in Ilya's life. Kind of like a best friend, the best, like, girlfriend, where he does occasionally hook up with her. She's kind of like that constant friend in his life that, like, she's always going to be there for him, and that they occasionally hook up kind of thing. So that's why he's kind of like, I have Svetlana, she loves me, and I love her too, but not as much as I love you. And he basically goes on this whole thing and said all in Russian, so Shane can't really understand this. He's just listening to the way he's saying it, and Ilya's saying all this in Russian. He's saying, like, he's like, I just want you. All I ever want is you.
Я так сильно тебя люблю, не знаю, что с этим делать.
I'm so in love with you that I don't know what to do about it. Like, we get this entire Russian monologue of Ilya expressing his love, like, saying it, that he is in love with Shane. It's just a beautiful scene. It's so well done. Like, again, I'm literally watching this like this for the first time, like, like, I can't. So now after this happens, and, like, he's back in the States, and they're back to playing and everything, they have a game against each other. They seem like they're having a really great time. They're kind of looking at each other on the ice. Like they're playing against each other, but it's like the first time we're like on the ice. They're not like rivalry. They're very like smiling at each other, having a great time, like enjoying this game against each other. And then Shane gets hit hard. Boom. Down. Like hit, does not get back up. And you just see the genuine like fear in Ilya. Like he's so scared. He's so worried about Shane. He gets hurt. He's in the hospital. Ilya goes to visit him in the hospital, super worried about him. He's like, you scared me. And like Shane's like all high from the drugs at the hospital. And he's like, oh, Ilya. Like, oh, it's like super, super sweet. And it's like, again, cute moment. And he's like, will you come to my cottage this summer? He basically is inviting Ilya to, instead of going to Russia this summer, come back to his place and his cottage and stay with him for a week or two. And like he's like, it's super private, we can have some alone time, we don't have to worry about anything else, like please come stay with me. And Ilya is just kind of like, maybe we'll see. One of the most iconic things with episode 5 is, let's fast forward a little bit, the scene where Scott Hunter, like I said, he's mentioned, he's episode 3 and he is the first book in the series. Scott Hunter, he's a hockey player on the New York Admirals. He's been a character throughout the show. We have an episode 3 with his boyfriend Kip, and basically their story is that Scott Hunter's also in the closet, because again, in the hockey world it's not normal, like not a normal thing to be openly gay. So he's been dating Kip secretly, and it's kind of becoming a problem in the relationship, because like Kip's like, I love you and like I want to be with you, but like I don't like being a secret, I don't like not being able, like, people don't know that we're together kind of thing. So basically the Admirals are winning the cup. Ilya and Shane are both not playing. They're watching on their TVs at their own homes. And Scott Hunter and Admirals win the cup. And in that moment, he decides to call Kip down onto the ice in front of everyone at the game on live television, and basically comes out publicly by kissing his boyfriend in front of everybody. And Shane and Ilya are watching this in complete, like, I remember watching this scene specifically, and I was like, I was literally like, the whole time I was like I literally wanted to cry, because I was like, this is so sweet. Like, for Scott and Kip, and first off, just Scott being like brave enough to be able to do that in front of everybody, Kip to be finally like proudly shown off like that, I was happy for him. And then for Ilya and Shane to be watching this, that they're both on their own watching this on their TVs separately, and they're texting each other like, what is he doing, and then Scott kisses Kip in front of everybody on the TV, and they both see, and they're both like, they're like in complete shock. You see like this like hope in their eyes, especially Shane. I feel like I see this like hope in his eyes, like, no way this is happening. Is this real? Like, if this is real, then we could be real. This could happen to us. Like, you're seeing all these like thoughts like in their eyes, I feel like. And then Ilya gets up, calls Shane, and Shane gets up and answers. And this is the end of episode 5. We end with Ilya going, I'm coming to the cottage. Boom, that's it. And Shane just like lights up, and that's the end of the episode. So that scene is just so iconic, because it's, like I said, it's a heartfelt, like, for Scott to be brave enough to come out like that in front of everybody, and the way that Ilya and Shane reacted to that, and like I said, genuinely seemed so like in shock, but also so hopeful and so excited about it. And then for Ilya for that to be the moment where Ilya realizes like, this can be real, like if they can do it, we can do it. And so then Ilya says, I'm coming to the cottage, and that's when the episode ends. And then episode 6, the cottage. Oh, I love the cottage so much. I love it so much. It is the most sweetest episode. It's like, literally, it's the episode where Ilya goes to the cottage. And they, like I said, they have 2 weeks where they get to just be together. No worries, no late night hookup, sneaking around, secretive. Like, they get to just spend time together. It's just, everything about that episode is so sweet. They just have all these little moments together. It's when they first say I love you to each other. In that moment, whenever they finally say I love you to each other for the first time. Like I said, Ilya's technically said it in Russian. He said it out loud to Shane, but in Russian. So Shane doesn't really know. It's not really been said. So in the moment when they say I love you to each other, it's just so sweet, because you could tell that Ilya like really wants to say it, and he's kind of freaking out about it. He like starts saying it in Russian first to Shane, and then he finally says out loud, he's like, I love you. And like Shane's like, holy shit. Because I think it was like Shane's shock of like, did he really just say that? And so the instant he goes, I love you too. And it's like this super, super cute moment. And I'm just like I said, the cottage just has so many scenes that are so heartfelt, and so, like I said, moments between the two of them that are just so different from the rest of the show. Like, they're finally able to just be 100% with each other in every way possible. No fears, no, like, anyone could possibly, like, it's so sweet. Ilya opens up a lot about his mother to Shane, and they have moments about that. And just overall, the cottage episode is just everything to me. I love it so much. And then also there's the scene at the end where Shane's dad walks in on them. Scary. At first I was like, like Shane's dad literally walks in on Shane and Ilya kissing and then like runs out and like freaks out and like runs away. And so then Shane's like freaking the fuck out. He's like, oh my god, this is my worst nightmare. Ilya, I don't know what to do. Like, this is my worst nightmare. Like, he's not out to his parents. So the fact that he just walked in on them kissing, like his arch rival. Like, so they go over to his parents' house and he basically tells them like, I'm gay. This is Ilya. Like, we've been together. Like, I'm sorry I kept this from you guys. I'm sorry that I haven't told you sooner. I wish I did. And basically at the end of the day, at the end of this episode, like, you see how accepting his parents are. They're super accepting of him being gay and the fact that he's like with Ilya. And it's just super, again, I'm just having this like, just so happy for them and so happy that he has like accepting parents, like happy for Ilya to be into this accepting family after having such a terrible family dynamic with his family. Yeah, and then there's a scene at the dinner table where Shane starts freaking out because his mom's kind of going back into manager mode and be like, okay, well, if we tell people this and people will get used to it, people will be fine with it. He's just like, mom, like, I'm not ready to come out yet. Like, I don't. And Shane just starts freaking out. He's like head down on the table, freaking out, hyperventilating kind of. And Ilya's like, whoa. He's like, hey, Shane, we're good here. He's like, your family's here. Your boyfriend is here. We're good here. And Shane lifts his head up like, my boyfriend? And Ilya's like, yes, I think so, probably. And it's just so sweet. Like I said, just having that moment where like Ilya's able to like say like boyfriend and like they kiss. Oh my god. After that they kiss. They do a little in front of his parents, and I'm like, that's their first kiss in front of anybody. I can't even, like, I love that episode so much. It's so good. Okay, I need to end this video. It is so long already. I've talked so much. As you can tell, I love this show so much. Everything about it, like I said, I love the actors. I love the characters. I love their love story. I love the story arc that over the time, like how much you're seeing over a span of years of time. There's just something about it. It's just so different than anything I've watched that I think it means so much to so many people. It's so important to a lot of people. It is two people that love each other. The show is done in such a good way, like cinematography and like the music choices, the lighting choices, just everything about the show just goes so well together. It's got this like drama to it. It's got this like tension, this like what's gonna happen next. It's got moments of everything. It's gonna make you feel so many different things. Happy, sad, fear, worry, love, that attraction. Like, it's just like everything about the show. There's got so many feelings that it gives you, and I think that's why I love it so much. My Heated Rivalry obsession is not over. I will continue to be thinking about this and only this for the next ongoing weeks. I'm reading the books. I'm halfway through the first one. There are 6 books in the series, so I will be reading them all. I really am just here for Shane and Ilya's story because I love them so much, but I'm going to read all the books in the order that they go in, read all the different stories that are involved in them. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've actually watched this video start to finish, if you've actually like watched this video entirely, I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed my thoughts and how I feel about the show and getting like another person's perspective on it. It means so much. It's like such an important show, I think, like I said, to me and to a lot of people. There's a fandom, there's a community around the show, there's an equal love among different people. That's what I love so much about being a part of like fandoms of shows in general. It's just a part of my world. I don't know. It's my world. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you are loving Heated Rivalry and you keep watching it just as much as I am, and you read those books and you watch those TikTok edits and you read those Instagram threads and you watch those YouTube videos. Do it all, because it's the life right now. It's my life. It's our life. I love it. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.